Chapter 18. एक एव भवाम्बोधा वासीदस्ति भविष्यति न ते बन्धोऽस्ति मोक्षो वा कृतकृत्यः सुखञ्चर मा संकल्प विकल्पाभ्याम चित्तम क्षोभय चिन्मय उपशाम्य सुखम तिष्ठ स्वात्मन्यानंद विग्रहे So you are the Chit Swarupa, Chinmaya, nothing but the pure awareness principle. You were in the past, you are in the present now, you shall be ever in the future without anything else whatsoever. In reality, Jagat may appear to be there, which comes and goes, which has no ultimate reality, it is false in nature. So therefore, in reality, truly speaking, you have no bandha, no moksha. If at all you take yourself a bound, it is a wrong notion, and really speaking, you have no bondage or liberation. And in spite of this, if you feel, how is that I get subject to all the sorrows, confusions, tensions in life, how is it? It is your mistake, because all these kshobha, agitations in the mind, are because of sankalpa and vikalpa. Why sankalpa, vikalpa? Not knowing your true nature, you aspire for many things in the world which may not be totally possible to fulfill, and therefore you get subject to agitation. So what do? Upashamya. Upashamya means having given up this sankalpa vikalpa, abide in your true nature, swatmani ananda vigrahe, which is nothing but ananda murti, means nothing but the absolute happiness. Abide in that. Now here, one question may be asked. That is fine. I will give up all sankalpa vikalpa. But do you mean to say that should I give meditation? Is it not something, meditation is that which is the highest preoccupation in life? Why should I leave meditation? Listen now. Tejaiva dhyanam sarvatra ma kinchid dhrudi dharaya. Atma tvam mukta evasi kim vimrishya karishyasi. Take Anvaya. Sarvatra. What is it? Oh, morning I gave one. Sarvatra eva dhyanam tyaja. Hridi किंचित मा धारय आत्मा त्वं सदा मुक्तः एव असि अतः विमृश्य किम फलम करिष्यसि. सर्वत्र एव ध्यानम त्यज. सर्वत्र. Sarvatra means everywhere. Everywhere means with respect to all that can be the dheya. Dheya means that can be meditated upon. With respect to anything and everything, your dhyanam, chintanam, teja, please give up. What is dhyana actually? Meditation. What is meditation? Contemplation. Acha. Huh? Those who have, at least those who have studied Gita Bhashya. Can you give me definition? Yes, that is true. What you said is true. Can you give Sanskrit phrase? No, that is what you said is correct, but what is the Sanskrit phrase? Saja. Vijatiya Vrutyanantarita. Bhashyakara puts it as Rahita, that's correct. Rahita means Vijatiya Vrutyanantarita Sajatiya Vritti Pravaha. Sajatiya Vritti Pravaha. The continuous flow of thought with respect to a given thing, preoccupation. But how it should be? Sajatiya Vritti Anantarita, not Vrityantarita. Vritti means na antarita, not obstructed, not intercepted by dissimilar thought, means the flow, in English we can put the flow of similar thought not intercepted or unobstructed by dissimilar thought. Means, what thought do you entertain in dhyana? Dheya, about the thing to be meditated upon, is it not? The general complaint is we can't meditate. Actually, the fact is everyone can meditate very efficiently. Swamiji, how is it? The moment we sit for dhyana, all volcano starts inside. How do you say everyone can meditate? Is it so? Have you ever noticed? See, when you go to the temple, what you are supposed to meditate? No, what you are supposed to meditate. The Lord who is there in front of you, but where is your mind? Continuously. Yesterday only I bought the chappals, they are costing 2,000 rupees and I had to keep it outside. So where is your mind? Though Bhagwan is in front there, our ideal is there, but all the time continuously one chappal. Is it not? No other thought comes. Suppose you are waiting for a bus or a train or somebody is to pick you up because somewhere you have to go together. A carpool was there and you have to, that means someone was to pick you up and you are waiting on a road, footpath, where busy road is there. You know, you have got dhyana on what? The specific bus or the other side of the platform is the train or the car that is to come. The heavy traffic is there, so many vehicles are moving this side, that side. Your mind is not at all anywhere, but single pointed attention on car or bus that you want to have. Is it not? Is it not meditation? So everyone has got that capacity. The only problem is where the interest lies. That's what it is. So when we sit for so-called meditation on whom? Lord or whatever it may be, then what about other things come means our least interest is here. Because somebody said etc. or they say some peace you can get etc. You can say like that. Now here he says, so otherwise, now dhyana, that is fine. Dhyana, is it not an activity? What level? Mind. Manasa karma vyapara. Dhyana is manasa karma vyapara. Now, we are speaking of a person. Who is this person? Of course, see, Ashtavakra Gita being what it is, the statements here should not be brought out of context. Because to quote out of context is criminal. Now you say, this is told to the person who has already got the knowledge, means direct cognition of what my true nature is, which is called as aparoksha jnana or aparoksha anubhava. They have already got it. And shravana, manana, nididhyasana, by these he has already got rid of the deha tadatmya. To such a person, even by habit, if he says, I have to take to at least meditation, rest all sankalpa, vikalpa I can give up. But how can I give up meditation which makes me abide in my true nature? If you say so, here he says, the Guru says, sarvatra, with respect to anything and everything, sarvatra eva dhyanam tyaja. Give up this so-called meditation. What do you mean by give up meditation? That is the same thing. The phrase is explained by the Guru himself. Hridi kinchit ma dharaya. So give up meditation means hridi. Hridi means that antakarane, in the antakarane, in your mind, kinchit ma dharaya. Don't entertain any thought. That's also further explanation. What was that? Ma sankalpa vikalpabhyam chittam kshobhaya chinmaya was told in the earlier stanza. That means here, don't entertain. Again, hridi kinchit ma dharaya means not only the dheya like this, even other vishayas etc. don't think of them. So now, please let me know why you want to take to meditation. Keep aside vishayas, because we certainly know this person will not take to vishaya dhyana. He will not take to. If at all his dhyana will be on what? Atma Swarupa, is it not? Or it can be some upasya daivata, which should not be in his case because he has crossed that stage. But still some hang-up is there we can't know. So therefore, because that fascination was, earlier he was a great upasaka, and afterwards, now if he is asked to give up the upasana, what will that upasya daivata think? Well, many times happen. Generally, in the puja room, there are so many photographs, so many idols. So suppose if I worship only Shiva, what Vishnu will think? And only after Vishnu, and they say what Ganapati will think. Practical, many people think that way, as if these people want your puja. Okay, that's a different thing. So like this is our psychology, human psychology is that. So I was taking to I had taken to this upasana for last 35 years. How can I give it up? That mantra I was doing, how can I, what that deity will feel now? I told, don't become Devanam Pashu. Not me. Brihadaranyaka says. Okay, that's fine. So therefore, says, that is what? Hridi kinchit, you are meditating. So on what? If you say, no, I am meditating on what? Atma Swarupa. Can you? Already told. See the earlier context. Why? Adrishyatvat. Atma cannot be Adrishya, object of your meditation. Even if you say, Brahma adrishya iti dhyana also not possible. That also was told. Means meditate on Brahma as something which cannot be the object of meditation. Thereby what you do? Again you subject Brahma to be the object of meditation. That also is not possible. Means Atma Dhyana, Brahma Dhyana is not possible. So Vishaya Dhana, you give aside because this person is not interested at all. Dheya of any Upasya Devata just not possible. So now tell you, what are you meditating about? Nididhyasana, cultivation of Akhandakara Vritti. Steadiness of mind, what for? What for? Okay, yes. Steadiness of mind. Chitta Naishchalya, what for? That's why we are talking of this person. So look, that's why I'm telling, don't bring out of context. We are not talking of the person who has to take to Upasana for what? Chitta Naishchalya, who has to take to karma with the yoga attitude for Antakarana Shuddhi. All those are gone by now. So we have that seeker has already advanced. So what for you want to take dhyana? You say, so therefore, so if you say, no, I want to entertain, at least I want to take to Akhandakara Vritti. Akhandakara Vritti, what are you meditating upon in Akhandakara Vritti? Huh? Yes, see what it is. What are you meditating upon? Akhandakara Vritti means what? Making your mind conform to the specification of Atma, which is Nirvishesha. Actually it is Avidyadhyaropana Nirakaranam eva Kartavyam. You are not giving a preoccupation to the mind of meditating this again, repeating this, etc., because Atma is not available for objectification. So, therefore, and what for Akhandakara Vritti? Because I want to get liberated, I want to gain moksha. Who told you are bound? So therefore it says, Atma Tvam, and what is that Atma? Chinmurte, Chitma Chinmatra Sarupaha, Chinmaya Sarupa, all was told earlier, means one who is nothing but Chaitanya and Chaitanya only, Chit and Chit only, the pure awareness principle only. So you are Atma, this is your Sarupa. So Atma Tvam Sada Muktaha Eva Asi. Who told you? When you are bound? About? No. I mistook myself to be bound. That's what is told. You are mistaken. If you are mistaken means, what do you mean by you mistook yourself to be bound? I was, what does it mean? I was never bound, never baddhaha, but I mistook. Now you have realized it or not? So therefore the fact is, Atma Tvam Muktaha Sada. In reality, you are Atma Sarupa, Chaitanya Sarupa, never subject to bondage. How come anything binds Chaitanya? See, even that I am bound, what is it actually? A vritti. At what level? Antakarana level. Is it not mind? Antakarana. I am free, aham muktaha. What is it? Vritti. At what level? Antakarana level. Both I am baddhaha, I am muktaha. Both are antakarana vritti. Illumined by? Illumined means what? Made known by whom? Chaitanya. In that Chaitanya, are these two vrittis there? Like Ghanachanna Drishtir, Ghanachanna Markam. You know that? Sun being covered by the cloud and clouds have gone. Sun is never covered or uncovered. So like this in Chaitanya, you Chinmatra Swarupa, neither the vritti, I am bound is there, nor the vritti, I am free is there. Manaeva Manushyanam Karanam Bandha Mokshayoho. In Swarupa, Tvam Atma Muktaha Evasi. Because you had the notion earlier, I have to say, I am constrained to say that you are always Mukta. That's what he said, Nitya Muktaha Asi. Therefore, now.
This Janaka has already said in chapter 14, verse 3.
But do you know that? What was the thing? Why he started the Upadesha again? You see, he has started starting from the scrap. What was that? Who is adhikari, who is anadhikari? Actually, Janaka doesn't need that. Either, I told that, either it is this way. What is it? Even though Janaka has given his credential, Guru doesn't want to take risk. Many times it happens, like Arjuna telling in Bhagavad Gita. At times you ask such question that you pose yourself with Mahajnani, but because the fellow has borrowed some words from somewhere, from Shastra, somewhere, etc., but really it may not be the case. So therefore a Guru doesn't want to take risk at all. That is, I have told this. That may be the one reason, or it can be, there is a teaching going on, Janaka has got, but there may be many other students. The Guru has to care for them also. So that way, either way you have to take as such. Either he doesn't want to take that risk of accepting totally what is he has said. He has congratulated him, he has accepted it, but still not to leave room for any doubt whatsoever. He has told this, or there may be few other students possibly who are not there. Therefore he has started from the very beginning. Who is adhikari, who is anadhikari, and what is your swarupa? And he said that is what you are chinmatra swarupa, and therefore, so now you are muktaha asi. Now please think of this. What is it? You say, vimrushya. Vimrushya means here vicharya. Vicharya means the sense dhyatva. By this meditation you would like to take to, you say, vicharya, kim phalam karishyasi. What result will you get? What result? You are mukta swarupa. And this person has already cognized that. What are you going to get out of that? Dehatadhatma, you can't say why. That stage is already gone. Nididhyasana stage already gone. If at all he takes to Nididhyasana, it is by mere habit which he doesn't want to give up. Even that you can't. In the base, you need not give it up. So that's why the person to whom this is addressed has to be kept in the mind. So that is, even the so-called dhyana also give up, because you are not going to gain anything whatsoever as a result out of that. It is only, even that also is chitta kshobha. Why? Because for dhyana you have to sit, but no, everywhere disturbance only. Even if you come to Mahabaleshwar also, what happens? The dog barks or something happens, we say. So therefore, there is in the elsewhere in Puranas or somebody said, some person was there who was a great karmata. It seems he roamed all over the world, but he could not get a pure place to perform karmanushtana. Because wherever he used to go, something or other he used to find out. That means that place is not suitable. So like that, so he will complain that I want to take to Nididhyasana, but the place is not suitable. Some disturbance is that is there, and if nothing is there, at least mosquitoes are there. So, so like this, so you are inviting Shobha for you by this. All that time, of course, if you have to accomplish something, certainly you have to do. What have you to gain here? You are muktaha asi. Anything other than, no, I am muktaha, but I want to get something more. Means what does it mean? The fellow doesn't know what is Atma, doesn't know what is Brahma, doesn't know what is Moksha. So therefore, say that Kshobha in terms of Sankalpa, Vikalpa, including so-called Dhyana, please give up. You are this Swarupa, just be what you are. Now, next chapter, Vishesha Upadesha. What is Vishesha Upadesha? Special advice, okay? So, extraordinary advice. Secret not to be disclosed that loudly as that. So, Vishesha Upadesha. Now, Achakshva shruno vatata nana shastranyanekashaha tathapi na tava swasthyam sarva vismaranadhrute. So in fact, last year I had brought to your notice this stanza. Not only this, same chapter, last stanza. Haro yadyupadeshtate hari kamalajopi va tathapi na tava swasthyam sarva vismaranadhrute. Should know, because otherwise Vedanta means they have become a habit. We don't know what exactly is the crux of Vedanta. This is, take Anvaya, Tata, Adhyara and Tvam, Nana Shastrani, Anekashaha, Achakshva, add that, Adhyara, Shishebhyaha, Achakshva, add Shishebhyaha, Shunu, again Adhyara, add Gurubhyaha, Va, Shunu, Gurubhyaha, Va. Tathapi sarva vismaranadhrute tava swasthyam na add asti adhyara tava swasthyam na asti. O tata, O Sani, because superficially, that means just on the that is external aspects, it may not appeal to the student. So therefore it says, because it is against the pet notion of many people. That's why I say, O Tata, Sani, listen now. What is it? It says, Nana Shastrani Anekashaha Achakshva Shishebhyaha Shunu Gurubhyaha Va. Is it? Nana Shastrani. Innumerable Shastras, countless Shastras. So, Shastras, text of which the names also are not heard by common people. Okay? Such people. So, unheard texts, etc. So, what do you do with that? And Anekashaha. Anekashaha means Anekavaram, many times. So, many texts. With here, of course, Vedanta or allied texts, that is with that which has to do with something to do with the spirituality. So, Nana Shastrani Anekashaha Anekavaram, this is Achakshva Shishebhyaha. To your Shishya's disciple, Achakshva literally means speak. Speak in the sense teach. It is like this. You may teach many texts many times to your disciples. Okay? Number one. Then, or it may be, Shunu Gurubhyaha, or yourself exposed to the teaching of many texts through your Guru. Great accomplishment. Yet, he says, Tathapi, even then, Sarva Vismaranadhrute, Tava swasthyam na asti. Even then, sarva vismaranadhrute. Dhrute means vina. Sarva vismaranam vina. Without, literally sarva vismaranam means without forgetting everything. We'll come to that afterwards, what is forgetting. Without forgetting everything, I'll just give the literal meaning. Without forgetting anything, Tava, for you, swasthyam na asti. What is swasthya? Don't take health, not health here. Shreya, Shreya means what? Swasthya can be taken as swasmin sthitihi. What is swasmin sthiti? Abidance in oneself. What do you mean by abidance in oneself? Is Atma available for abidance? Earlier no abidance, now abidance. But who can have abidance? Buddhi swasmin sthitihi. That way. Abidance of buddhi or the mind in Atma means absorption of the mind in Atma Swarupa. That is what is swasthya. That is the ultimate shreyas, the highest good, the highest goal of life. He says, Sarva Vismaranadhriti means without the Vismarana, forgetting in the sense, without your withdrawal from all. What is that all? Everything including ignorance. Vismarana means ananusandhanam. Anusandhanam means dwelling upon. Anusandhanam means ananusandhanam, not dwelling upon. Sarva, that is what is called as forget. Means, in other words, we can put in this way, simply, without, that means unless you accomplish the non-cognition of all the things, in fact, you have to take that Vismarana as non-cognition. Ananusandhana means non-cognition of everything. It is just not possible for you to gain the abidance in your Swarupa. Again, let us now take this. Achakshva means you are teaching many texts, many number of times, or learning so many texts, of course Vedantic texts only, that also many times from your Guru, is not going to confer upon you. By themselves they are not able to confer upon you the abidance of your mind in your Swarupa. Means moksha is not possible. Why? What is required for moksha? What is moksha? What is moksha? What are you? 1,000 times we have heard, and what you ask is moksha. Liberation, is it not? Swaswarupena avasthana. Abidance in one's own true nature. That is what the moksha is. So therefore I say, so then how these are not? See, look, these accomplishments, either teaching or learning, may be useful as a means, but themselves are not the end. The end is only in terms of that abidance in Swarupa. For abiding the mind in Swarupa, what is required? Direct cognition. What do you mean by knowledge? What is knowledge? Cognition of a thing true to its nature. Otherwise called yathartha darshana or yathartha anubhava. If it is not yathartha, ayathartha, it is not jnana, it is brahma. Now if we have to cognize our true nature, that is what Atma. So, and what is the nature of Atma? Nirvishesha Swarupa, Nirguna Swarupa, and that means that also have to be cognized in terms of Nirvishesha with the help of what? Antakarana. Means Antakarana has to conform itself to Nirvishesha Atma. To become that, what should Antakarana do? Antakarana itself has to become Nirvishesha. This capacity is verily present in the Antakarana. As you see in the, I told you earlier, in the 18th chapter Gita Bhasha, Shankaracharya points out that just as Atma is Swachha, Nirmala and Sukshma, to that degree Antakarana can become, and that way, that cognition, that's what is called as Akhandakara Vritti. For that to accomplish, what is required? Antakarana has to be free from all the Visheshas, Gunas, attributes. Whom do these Visheshas, attributes belong to? Mind. No. Mind takes to those. But they actually belong to what? The Jagat. Of course, mind is part and parcel of Jagat, that is true. So actually they belong to Vishayas. By memory or perception, etc., that means the mind also takes to those Visheshas. So that means to make the mind Nirvishesha, you have to withdraw the mind from insisting on Sarva Vismarana. Sarva Vismarana means non-cognition of everything to Abide in Swarupa. Why do you insist on that? Because everyone does it every day. Then say, why every day in the sleep? Even in the class also they do it. so what to do now? So, but they are not muktaha. So how is it true? Now tell me one thing. In sleep, this is very important point is that. In sleep, is there sarva vismarana, non-cognition of everything, is it there? Yes or no? Some have said yes, some have said no. Come on, let me, those who have said yes. Those who have said no, come on, what is the reason? Achha, the fellows must have seen somewhere. True. See, non-cognition means no experience. In sleep, is there experience or not? What is experience? I don't know anything. So I slept happily, I don't know anything. Maybe true. At that time you are not able to verbalize it. But certainly you are, means you are certainly undergoing that experience. You see, that's why when you wake up, what do you say? I slept well, I did not know anything. Your answer is in the what did you do or what do you know? I slept well, I did not. It is the past tense. What do you mean? It is remembrance. Remembrance means at that time you had undergone the experience of nothingness, means ajnana. I don't say, aham kimapi na janani. Aham kimapi na janami, mamapi na janami. I don't know anything including myself. This was your experience, that's why you remember that way, is it not? So now, I don't know anything. It is true that you can't express that experience as a present fact of experience at the time of sleep. Do you know why? Who is missing? Ahankara is missing. Because ahankara is missing, you can't experience as a present fact of experience. That is fine. But you can't say that you had no experience because you are able to recollect afterwards. Means, in sleep, you had experienced the ajnana. Is it sarva vismarana? No. It is not sarva vismarana. Because there is a smarana of what was there, means experience. Smarana here in the sense, experience of ignorance was verily there. So therefore, what is told here as sarva vismarana cannot be sleep. Means it is a state wherein you are awake, you are not asleep, you are not dreaming, you are awake but not awake to any of the vishayas. What it can be? It has to be the direct cognition of the Swarupa, the Atma Swarupa, wherein the cognition of the Vishayas or Jagat is not there, including that of ignorance. So if you have not accomplished this, now go back. Achakshva achishebhyaha achakshva nana shastrani anekashaha. So that is many shastras, many a times. Shishebhyaha achakshva. You may teach to this, that means you may teach to the disciples. Why? Even in that means you may quote thousands of things, having that means one topic you took and what all said about this in many places, you can give so many quotations. This is that person's opinion, this is this person's opinion, this is other person's opinion, this is my opinion. Like a professor you may do all these things. It is of no use. You see, that's why, see, anywhere in our teaching, that means tradition, this thing, no examination is conducted on Vedantic teaching. Have you seen? If Rishikesh, etc., you go in the established ashrams, the moment they come to know that if any brahmachari has come with the intention of appearing to some examination, Varanasi, etc., there are examination conducted. Up to Acharya level they conduct. They will throw that fellow out. Because this is not academic education. A person may score high in this, but he may not be anywhere near gaining the Atmadhyana, because that attitude itself defiles the actual pursuit. Like this, we say, or it is not a thing. See, how many texts you have taught, how many public sessions you have conducted, how many hours of teaching in all lifelong you have taught, how large an audience you have attracted, etc. That may be useful, do you know that? If you want to put your name in Guinness book, you know. That is why. I think nowadays Limca book has come itself. Is it that? Something like Limca book they say somewhere. Because everyone can't get the name in Guinness book. It's like they start. Okay, anyway, whatever it may be. If that is the case, that is fine, but not for Atma Jnana. That's what here also, where Vivek Chudamani, Vagvaikari, Shabdajari, Shastra Vyakhyana Kaushalam, Vaidushyam Vidusham Tad Bhuktaye Natu Muktaye. All this fine, not ordinary accomplishment, they are great accomplishment. So, Vagvaikari, eloquence. Once you open the mouth, the what? Saraswati straight away follows. He is sitting here. So, straight away flow starts. Shabdajari, that means no dearth of any word that are on that means appropriate, most appropriate words at the appropriate time, etc. Shabdajari. Shastra Vyakhyana Kaushalam, the skill in commenting on the text. So, Vaidusham Vidusham, the scholasticity of the scholars, Tad Bhuktaye Natu Bhuktaye. That by itself is only for Bhukti means Bhoga here in the sense, name, fame, etc. All these things, Natu Muktaye. So that is how, that means what it is. So what is required is that Sarva Vismarana Dhriti, that we have seen. Actually, in meditation I have seen this direct cognition of my Swarupa in its true nature, that is Atma Jnana, and not dabbling with hundreds of texts, maybe the Vedantic books, it is not. They are means, not that otherwise, that is not that one should not study, no. Then there is the Shravana, Atma Vare, Drashtavya, Sotavya, Mantavya, Nididhyastavya. Shrotavya, Mantavya, the Shruti would not have told. That is true. It is a sadhana, but not the sadhya. Sadhya is in direct cognition. At best you can get paroksha jnana. Means you can pick up some information which will be useful for further pursuit, but it is not the direct cognition of one's own true nature. For that what is required? For direct cognition, you have to appreciate Atma Swarupa in its own true nature, and the true nature of Atma is Nirvishesha, and if you have to appreciate Nirvishesha, your Antakarana equally has to be Nirvishesha. That Nirvishesha state, that is state of Antakarana, can be accomplished only by Sarva Vismarana, and not otherwise. So therefore say, Sarva Vismarana Dhriti Tava Swasthyam, that is Swasmin Sitihi. Shreya. Shreya in terms of moksha, abidance in your Swarupa is just not possible. Now he says, further he continues, Bhogam karma samadhim va kuru vidnya tathapi te. Chittam nirasta sarvasha matyartham rochaishyati. So if you have got sarva vismarana, then do you know what will happen? You will not have desires for anything whatsoever. That's what is called as, you will become the person who is nirasta sarvashaha. So that I say, vidnya anvaya. Vidnya, add tvam, adhyara, tvam. Vidnya tvam, bhogam kuru, this kuru will be repeated. Bhogam kuru, karma va kuru, samadhim va kuru. Bhogam kuru, karma va kuru, samadhim va kuru. Tathapi te निरस्त सर्वाशम चित्तम तथापि ते निरस्त सर्वाशम चित्तम एट देयर स्वरूपे अध्यार स्वरूपे अत्यर्थम रोचयिष्यति अत्यर्थम रोचयिष्यति Vidya, oh highly intelligent person, oh knowledgeable person, he is addressing the Shishya student. Tvam, you may take to all these. What are those? Bhogam kuru, you may indulge in sense objects. You may take to bhogas. Or karma kuru, you may take to the performance of action, karma anushtana you may take to. Or samadhim kuru, you may practice samadhi. Here samadhi is Ashtanga Yoga Samadhi, not the Jnana Samadhi, because Jnana Samadhi there is no question afterwards. So therefore here, because Jnana Samadhi is there, Sarva Vismarana is there or not? Yes. Jnana Samadhi means what? Absorption the mind in the direct appreciation of Swarupa. Certainly Sarva Vismarana is there, otherwise it is just not possible. So therefore here Samadhi, Ashtanga Yoga Samadhi. Again in Ashtanga Yoga Samadhi also, at that time Vismarana is there, relatively, but what is there? It is not totally Sarva Vismarana. Why? Ajnana. Though Yogastu Chitta Vritti Nirodha, all vrittis are eliminated, still Ajnana is there. Why? I, having taken to Yama Niyama etc. Ashtanga, now have accomplished this Samadhi. So that who is that I? Body I, Jnani or Ajnani? Ajnani. So therefore, it is also, though it is of course, it is a great accomplishment by itself, which is useful also, Vedanta, if properly the Shravan etc. are taken afterward, but there by itself also is not Sarva Vismarana specified here, because like sleep, still ignorance is available there. So, therefore, Samadhim va kuru, or you may practice Samadhi, tathapi, even then. See, that means like this, as if a comparison. On one side, indulgence in the sense object, performance of karma, or practice of Samadhi. And when one takes to that, has he got interest in them or not? He will see, one who is interested in the bhoga will take to bhoga. One who is interested in the performing so many karmas will take to karma. One who is interested in Samadhi will take to Samadhi on one side. Now he says, compared to all this, your mind will automatically take to or will prefer this one. What is the other one? He says, Tathapi, even then, te nirasta sarvasham chittam. Te chittam. First take that way. Your chitta. Your chitta means your mind. What type of mind? Not your any mind as such. The mind which is like this now. What is it? Nirasta sarvasham chittam. The one from whom all ashas have dropped. All ashas have dropped because of what? Not grapes or sour. Not that way. Because, all have dropped because first thing, sarva vismarana means he is not at all cognizing them, including the ignorance means direct cognition of Swarupa is there. So nirasta sarvasham, the mind which has freed itself from all the desire. Earlier we have seen the context of definition of moksha and bandha. What was defined as moksha? Moksham vishaya vairasyam, and bandha is vishayeshu anuraga. But in that context we have seen perfection in vishaya vairasya means anasakti in vishaya, though to an extent possible viveka, but the perfection is possible only when? Next stanza, in only the Atma Jnana, Brahma Jnana only it is possible, not otherwise. Because why? Otherwise, Vishayaha vinivartante niraharasya dehina. But Rasa varjam. And that rasopyasya param drishtva nivartate. We have seen the earlier chapter, this is it. Where was that Vishaya Vairasya? Huh? Which chapter? 15 only. Yes. Moksho Vishaya Vairasyam Bandho Vaishayiko Rasaha Etavadeva Vijnanam Yathechastha. That means what? Moksha is Vishaya Vairasya, Vaishayika Rasa is Bandha. This is the highest knowledge with respect to the Purushartha, that is moksha. Then he has said, next stanza he said, Ayam to Tattva Bodha, what does it do? Vagmi Pradnya Mahodyogam Janam Mukha Jadalasam Karoti Tattva Bodhoyam Ataha Tektaha Bubukshubhi. That means that Tattva Bodha only can, that is what is there in the next stanza it was suggested, that Vishaya Vairasya in terms of perfection can be gained only by Tattva Bodha, which is discarded by those people who are after the sense pleasures, what told. Means unless Tattva Bodha, and what is that Tattva Bodha? Atmanaha Atma Tattva Bodha, unless that is gained, it is just not possible, was told. So therefore, the total freedom from desire is possible only in the gaining, in wake of knowledge, gaining the direct cognition of oneself. So therefore, he says that your mind totally free from all desire, Swarupe Atyartham. Atyartham means exceedingly. Rochaishati will get delighted, will take interest, and not even in bhoga, karma or samadhi. Means now two sides. One taking to bhoga or karma or samadhi. Other side, the mind which is totally free from desires, getting absorbed in Swarupa, which is, that is more preferable. You will find that the second one is more preferable to take to either of these three earlier, Rochaishati. And to make that mind Nirasta Sarvasha, certainly you should have the cognition of your Swarupa, for which Sarva Vismarana is indispensable. So therefore, you better, that means you take to this Sarva Vismarana, which will serve you as a direct means to cognize what your true nature is. Now, if the person is the one who has got Nirasta Sarvasha Chittam, in other words, Nirasta Sarvasha Chittam means one who has freed himself from all Trishnas. Trishnas are hankering for sense object. One who has freed himself, that person, even if takes to karma, will not have Kshobha. See, Chitta Kshobha was told. Chitta Kshobha is possible when you have got the desires. A person who has freed oneself from all desires and has direct cognition of true nature of oneself, even if that person takes to karma, Kshobha is just not possible. Otherwise, certainly there is the Kshobha, there is the anguish, which is the source of sorrow for everyone. Ayasat sakalo dukhi nainam janati kaschana. Anenaivopadeshena dhanya prapnoti nirvritim. Sakalaha janaha ayasat dukhi add bhavati adhyara enam kaschana na janati enam kaschana na janati anena eva upadeshena dhanyaha nirvritim prapnoti. Anena eva upadeshena dhanyaha nirvritim prapnoti. Sakalaha. Sakala means Sakalaha Janaha. All people. So they get subjected to dukkha because of this. On account of what? Ayasat Sakalaha Janaha. All people. Ayasat. On account of ayasa. We'll see what ayasa is. Dukhi bhavati. They become sorrowful. What is ayasa here? Ayasa means anguish. That means the pain at mental level. And that means mental torture or anguish. So ayasa can also mean wavering. Unsteadiness of the mind also can mean ayasa. Wavering also, mental pain also is ayasa. But here you have to take as what is called as anguish. So long as desires are there, anguish is bound to be there. So therefore, ayasa, because of ayasa, all people, what happens to their dukhi bhavati, they become dukhi means they get subjected to dukkha, sorrow. So therefore, what is the cause of sorrow now? Ayasa. Anguish. How anguish? Why anguish should come? At times your desire may be a noble one. Still possible, because whether it will be fulfilled or not. Even if it is fulfilled, will I be able to enjoy further or not? If I have got, will it be permanently there or not? So like this, many things come there. So and also between lip and the cup, there are many. They say no, there are many slips. So we don't know whatever, and all along, what is there is only anguish. That is how people get subjected to sorrow. So dukhi bhavati, and the problem is enam kaschana na janati. That is the problem. Enam means this fact. What is that? Ayasam dukkha hetum iti. This fact. What is that fact? This ayasa, this anguish born of desires, is the cause for all sorrows. People know not. They don't know at all. And one who knows and conducts oneself in accordance with that is the one who can certainly gain the highest ananda, that is Swarupa Ananda. As for the majority, they don't know this secret, that sorrow is born of ayasa. Ayasa also can mean exertion. Exertion here in terms of anguish. And anguish is because of desires. Desires means karma means what happens? Karma. Karma means anguish is bound to be there. You can't, there is no guarantee that whether even if you have, that means done perfectly, the results are going to come or not, no guarantee at all. So therefore, so ayasa, that means enam, this fact, janaha, the people know not. So they don't know. Then one who knows this certainly gets benefited. Anena eva upadeshena. Anena upadeshena means by ayasa, anguish born of desires, only all become sorrowful. By knowing this fact, upadesha means this advice, knowing this fact, some person who is that dhanyaha. Dhanyaha actually means a blessed. Blessed in the sense sukriti. Here sukriti. Sukriti means here punyavan. So punyavan. Why he is punyavan? Because he is the one because of some past good deed that he had taken to maybe this life or past life. So now he has got this. As a result of that, he is able to understand this fact. What fact? Ayasa leads to dukkha. And if he has got afterwards, what will happen? He will get the proper teaching, shravana, proper guru, etc. with the Ishwara Anugraha. Ishwara Anugraha means this fellow has earned earlier, therefore he is called Sukriti. Dhanyaha, the blessed person who gets the right direction. Otherwise, the person may have Shubhecha, the desire to get moksha, but may not take to the right advice, right sadhana, right guidance may not be there. So no, this person is a person. Some good he has done in the past. As a result of it, Ishwara Anugraha, he has got all the right sadhanas, right teaching, etc. Everything he has got. And he has understood the crux of this fact. What is it? That ayasa only leads to sorrow. He knows. Therefore, dhanyaha, that's why he is called as dhanyaha. As some punyaman person, you say, as a result, what does he gain? Nirvritim tapnoti. Nirvritti means Parama Sukham. And what is Parama Sukha? Only one. What is it? Swarupa, Ananda. Nothing else can be Parama Sukha. Paramananda can be only Atma Ananda, Brahmananda, Swarupa Ananda. So, Nirvrittim Parama Sukham Prapnoti. See, there is a between taking to this Upadesha and Prapti of Nirvritti, there is many other things are there. What are those? By Upadesha, he will take to Sarva Vismarana. Then of course Shravana Manana etc. are there, and he will get the knowledge and abidance in the Swarupa. That person only means Sarva Vismarana, as we have seen, means including removal of ignorance is only the means for which Shravana, Manana, even teaching also can clarify that teaching that, you suppose, when you teach, that teaching can clarify many things to you also. The one who teaches, that is also useful. That's why they means whatever you know, you share with others, because knowledge will become more and more clear. That is possible. Or learning from a proper, that means a competent master. These are the means, no doubt. But finally, what is required is Sarva Vismarana, to abide in one's own Swarupa. Otherwise, mere learning of the text by itself cannot be Atma Jnana. It is fine, it can be Paroksha Jnana. Means some useful information you have got, but it is not direct cognition of your Swarupa. Now, see that Sarva Vismarana means withdrawal from everything, including the ignorance, which is possible only in the direct cognition of Swarupa. Such a person, how is he? Vyapare khidyate yastu nimeshonmeshayorapi. Tasyalasya dhurinasya sukham nanyasya kasyachit. Yastu nimeshonmeshayoho api. Yastu nimeshonmeshayoho api vyapare khidyate. Tasya alasya dhurinasya sukham anyasya na kasyachit. Tasya alasya dhurinasya sukham anyasya kasyachit na. Read this person. Very interesting stanza it is. Yastu nimeshonmeshayoho api vyapare khidyate. Khidyate means, you know what is that? Anasaktaha bhavati means he is disinterested. In what? Even in this winking, opening the eyelids and closing the So the person who is not even, so some action is involved there. Maybe involuntary action, that's fine. Like a reflex action, involuntary action maybe. But some effort is involved. This person who is anasaktaha, disinterested in even, that means opening and closing the eyelids, and therefore who is the tasya alasya dhurinasya. The one who is the topmost among the lazy guys. Among the lazy guys, who is the topmost? PhD in alasya, laziness. Dhurina means chief. The Dhurina means the chief, the leader. That means one who is the topmost among the lazy persons. See, look, this stanza is brought out of context. The fellows will get wrong notion about Vedanta, what these fellows are doing. So therefore, tasya alasya dhurinasya, that is a sukham anyasya kasyachit na. That person alone can have the real ananda, not any other person. Who is disinterested in even opening and closing the eyelids. What does it mean? See, have you ever seen When you are engrossed in some thought or something, what happens to your eyelids? Yes, it is less. So that means the opening and closing eyelids is less. Now here is a person, it should not be misunderstood, okay? Here is a person who is so lost in Swarupa appreciation, even the opening and the closing the eyelids also, he needs the special effort. Why? He has to come down at the body level. Not that everyone does it voluntarily, no. But still means totally, this is a way of saying, totally lost in the appreciation of Swarupa. For him, it's what is called as Arthavada. Arthavada means you exaggerate something. Means opening and the closing of the eyelids is an action which needs the least effort, even that he is not ready to put forth. Means why he should act? Okay, action means something is required. His Ananda Swarupa he has discovered and is so absorbed, even this also for him is a great effort is required as it were. So therefore it says, Yahatu, the person who is स्वस्ति प्रजाभ्यः परिपालयन्ताम्